how to play the reworked Lawbringer effectively. First, you have to know his basic 3 combos, which is book, chapter, verse, judge, jury, and executioner, Ruit, Callium, Swift Justice, and Truth in Action. Sorry, I didn't know those 5. But these 3 are the basic 3 triple combos involving heavies and into lights. You can do any of them as long as you don't do 2 lights at the same time. But I do not recommend these as they're very slow unless you are pressuring them, but from neutral I wouldn't do it, as they can be easily parried. But stunning it, top heavies do stun them. After you know your heavies, the next thing I would do is learn about his shove. He has 2 openers, his shove and his long arm. I would not recommend the long arm. It is very slow, but it guarantees a side heavy. So what I like to do for a long arm is to go down, do a side heavy, go for a shove right after, guarantees a light. The shove is not guaranteed after a heavy, but most of the time it will hit. It can still be dodged. Is after any heavy, you can go for a shove by pressing guard break. So after any heavy, it doesn't have to land either. If it lands, then it's fine. Shove, you can dodge forward or dodge to any side and press guard break. You cannot do it backwards though. You can do it to the side. You can do it in front. But it'll always guarantee a light. Next thing you want to learn is his punishes. The first one that you can do is a light riposte. Simply just press the light right after a parry. It can be in any direction. My personal preference for a heavy parry is to do a light riposte into another light into a heavy like this. So you want to go for a double light into a heavy. The heavy will be an unblockable and they will be blind. So most of the time the person will not parry it unless it's coming from the top. But if it's coming from the side, most of the time they do not parry it and they will get hit. You also cannot dodge back from it. But in this case, since it's a bot, it's gonna parry it. But that's what you should do after a heavy parry. The next one is Blind Justice. How it works is after any parry and you go for a top heavy, you will do an unblockable. Now this is very slow and it can be easily parried, so I would not recommend it off a normal parry. But if you get a light parry, it is guaranteed. Now if you do choose to do such a thing, if you do choose to do your Blind Justice, you can do a light right after. As you said, after every Blind Justice, you can get a guaranteed light off, like this. Like so. I would not recommend this. This is very slow. Very slow. This one is called the Impaling Riposte. It's after how the Impaling Riposte wall spell works is after every parry, if you go for a side heavy right after, it'll impale them and make you travel. Now I wouldn't recommend this a lot, but you can. But how it's good is it'll go into a wall spot if you can get it close enough to a wall, and you can get if you time it right, you can get a free top heavy, which will stun your opponent. It does not matter which heavy you go for; they are all the same, but the top stuns them. But after the heavy, you can go for a shove. They can still dodge from it, but they can still dodge it, but it's not likely. Now it's only dodging it because it's a bot.
mortem inimicus! No superstes! Victory! Round 2. Ad mortem inimicus! Victory! Round 3.
Carecimos.
Ad mortem inimicus! Ad mortem inimicus! Defeat. Round 4. Ad mortem inimicus! Victory! Ad mortem inimicus! Ad mortem inimicus! No superstes! Ad mortem inimicus! Victory! Round 2. Ad mortem inimicus! Ad mortem inimicus! Ad mortem inimicus! Victory! Round 3. inimicus! Ad mortem inimicus! Defeat. Round 4. Ad mortem inimicus! Ad mortem inimicus! Victory! Ad mortem inimicus! Ad mortem inimicus! Victory! Round 2. Ad mortem inimicus! Ad mortem inimicus! Defeat. Round 3. Ad mortem inimicus! Ad mortem inimicus! Round 4. Ad mortem inimicus! Inumicus! Ad mortem Inumicus! Victory!